Here's Brody Brazil.
Well, what a time for Kansas City sports fans, right? I mean, the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. KC was recently awarded some World Cup matches. The Royals just signed their franchise player, Bobby Witt Jr., to a big long-term extension, the largest contract in franchise history. And now the Royals, in between all of that, have come out to say that they have a singular location selected for a future ballpark site. It's at a place called the Crossroads. It's downtown. And no, I'm not going to sing that Bone Thugs and Harmony song, "See You at the Crossroads." But yeah, okay, that is what it is. They've selected a location, and the renderings are beautiful. The company Populous put these together, and renderings here in 2024 are becoming just so detailed, like actual photography mixed in with the graphic artwork and rendering here of the facility. And yeah, it's conceptual, but it looks so real. Like things are becoming so tangible, you can actually already start to feel what this looks like, even though it doesn't exist. I mean, that kind of does look like a real photo if you just pan across it. Certainly a much better improvement than renderings we've been used to from the 90s. But I really like the design. I'll talk about the location here in just a second. It doesn't look overly cooked, not too futuristic. It's got some contemporary designs. It looks a little bit traditional. I love that walkway between the T-Mobile Center, which is the downtown, I want to say underutilized arena in Kansas City. So maybe they'll get some more cross-promotion out of that. But I love that diagonal walkway connecting the two venues right across that park. This is a really well-done situation. And again, it's right downtown. There were 3 total sites being considered by the Royals. They've narrowed it down to this one. And when you look at a map and you look at the location and you look at the design and everything all together right next to South Loop Park, and there's the Kauffman Center stop for transit and the Power and Light stop. I mean, this is so centrally located, makes a ton of sense. It's hard to imagine there was even really a debate about where this ballpark would eventually go. And yeah, it's going to make a grand avenue in terms of the downtown district and how viable this could actually be. So the question is, how exactly did we get here with the Royals? I'll also talk about why it's important that they narrowed it down to one site and their chances of actually getting this done in just a second. Kauffman Stadium, where they've been since nearly the beginning of their existence, is now the 6th oldest facility in Major League Baseball. And it's well known and it's highly regarded still as a baseball venue. They've got the fountains out there. It's kind of wide open. It is in the suburbs. There's the green rolling hills, and it's quaint and beautiful, but it's old. And according to some reports, it's disintegrating like the concrete actually is, and it would require so much effort and work to actually go into fixing that place up yet again. It's already gone through a major overhaul, I want to say at least about 10 years ago. So it's in decent enough condition to last you a few more years, but obviously they're looking for a replacement. And yeah, they had 3 sites, the Royals did, under consideration. Now narrowing it down to this one downtown spot gets a little bit dicey in a sense of they don't necessarily have the land secured. They don't have all the financing in place for this. They're putting the announcement out here to try and drum up some support for an April 2nd vote, which I'll tell you about, with a 3/8 cent sales tax that's still going to exist. It already exists. They want to continue it. I'll explain all of that in just a second, but it's kind of like saying, I'm going to score a touchdown, but I'm not the quarterback and I don't have the football in my hand yet. Our team has the ball. I'll make that Chiefs analogy. So the Royals are obviously getting out ahead of this, but they're not entirely in control of all of this yet. I love the downtown spot. It's what every team is doing. This seems like a forever home for Kansas City baseball. And yeah, they want to have a 2028 opening. They had a press conference yesterday. I want you to hear from their owner, John Sherman.
We're thrilled to announce our plans to contribute community dynamics, an incredible fan and stadium experience, and long-term growth to the Crossroads. A neighborhood ballpark home for the Royals that will stand strong for the next 50 years here in Jackson County. And we're happy and excited to build that new home without costing taxpayers a penny more. In fact, the proposal voters will consider on April 2nd will be the exact same tax, but a much better deal.
Interesting.
This project will also be a catalyst for the successful completion of the 670 cap and development and expansion of the corresponding park, connecting downtown to the Crossroads, T-Mobile Center to the new ballpark, and the creation of an expanded sports and entertainment district. The Chiefs and the Royals are asking the people of Jackson County to continue our partnership, and we know we have to earn and win every single vote. I am not a politician, but I'm going to be in the community talking about our project. I want to hear from you, and I believe it's important that you hear from me during this campaign, and that you know how committed I am to making sure the Chiefs and the Royals remain at home here in Jackson County.
It's well said.
Maybe I should end it at that, but
Mic drop.
you know, this place has been home to the Chiefs and the Royals for the last 50 years. We've shared Super Bowls and World Series wins, and you, our fans, our businesses, and our neighbors have stayed committed to this partnership through thick and thin. I am so grateful for the times that the fans have cheered their hearts out for us and stayed loyal. If we have one goal, it is to make you, Kansas City, proud of us, both on the field and out in the community, and that's what we will do in our new home for the next 50 years.
There you go. It's a forever project, a forever location if the Royals can actually land this site. What a great set of comments there from John Sherman, the Royals owner. I think he was very concise but very heartfelt there. It was a good choice of words and good delivery there to the public. All right, so here are my takeaways now. This is all my thoughts. I've tried to spell out things as best as possible. And I will get more into that April 2nd vote and why the Chiefs and Royals are combined into one vote and into one tax here in just a second. It's critical when you get to a singular focus of a ballpark, a site, a venue. The Royals had three options, and they were kind of touting all three. We can go with all three. This is how flexible we want to be. Now that they've singled in on one, if there are any setbacks, if there's any roadblocks, if there's any reason this doesn't work, it becomes a lot more of a precarious situation. I mean, look, it is an ideal location, I think, for what baseball teams are trying to do, and it doesn't involve a huge development. I think there's a hotel and maybe some residential, but it's not like an entire ballpark village or overblown project that's going to be too complicated to complete. This is an ideal setting, an ideal location. There is the commentary about a downtown ballpark versus what Royals fans are used to with both their baseball and their football teams, and that's the suburban Truman Sports Complex, right? So you drive out there, huge parking lots. It's the old 1960s and 70s way of doing things. And so there is question about congestion downtown. Parking, is there going to be enough for that? I mean, obviously there's already an arena surrounding it, so you'd have to imagine some of the parking is alleviated there. And it's also downtown, so there would have to be some options for parking. But yeah, there is some obvious concern about a huge transformational move. They still need to acquire this land, from what I understand, and the Royals have been in talks with the property owners to try and do that. The Royals also don't have a final cost. They need a budget. They need a community benefits plan. So those things are far down the road. But why the Royals are doing this right now, as you heard Mr. Sherman say, is that they're angling for this April 2nd vote, which is now about 6 weeks away. And the vote would continue that 3/8 cent sales tax in Jackson County that has been in existence for decades now. That tax gets split evenly between the Chiefs and the Royals for all of their stadium endeavors and ventures. And the Chiefs have already said, we want to continue that tax so that we can fix up Arrowhead Stadium. We want to stay there. We want to double down on Arrowhead Stadium. Certainly doesn't hurt that they just won the Super Bowl. Certainly doesn't hurt public perception from the Royals side that they just signed Bobby Witt Jr. to the franchise's largest contract in history. So you can see the commitment by the teams. They're trying to go about this and win people over the right way. And if they get this vote to pass, which does not actually increase the taxes, again, I want to actually repeat what Mr. Sherman said there. Sometimes it involves a new tax or an elevated tax or a tax going up or changing. In this case, nothing's changing. They're just asking for things to stay the same. And that alone will take care of the public contribution, from what I understand, to make this ballpark a reality. So it's an interesting dynamic. Nobody's asking for more here. They're just asking for what has existed already to continue existing. And that's why they need this April 2nd vote to pass in Kansas City. But my oh my, like I said, what a great time for Kansas City sports fans. You get a football team in a Super Bowl, you get soccer coming to town in a couple of years, you get a Royals team that has shown their commitment by keeping the star franchise players around. They've really been super active this winter in the free agent market, so kind of a turning point and a statement by this Kansas City Royals franchise. They've selected their location. They'll see you at the Crossroads, and by the way, they're hoping for this to open up in 2028. I think that rendering right there, I love that they've kept the fountains. And they've actually made the fountains even more prominent, kind of a futuristic fountains look there, how it kind of goes down the layers instead of just spraying up into nowhere. People have already also commented and said, well, they want that Royal Vision scoreboard or whatever it's called. You know, it's the Royals logo-shaped video screen. Maybe they'll move away from that again. These are just initial renderings, but they are accurate, they are detailed, they are impressive, and I'll tell you what, if Kansas City ultimately gets this, that's a huge deal for them. Hey, you've made it here to the end of the video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me and this channel make more videos that you can see in the future. And speaking of that, if you're just coming across me and this channel for the very first time, that's awesome. I'm glad. I really appreciate it. But make sure you subscribe so I can definitely see you back here next time.